I think we're all off the show now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Maybe we should start our own zombies.
And then, like, instead of zombies being in your barn, we can be in your barn and live there.
Cool.
I don't know how I knew that. I don't want to. I've seen that T-shirt, and I was like, oh, okay. It's like Herschel's farm with zombies in it. Those. Okay, I think the Herschel that was keeping the zombies in the barn would get along with Lizzie. So.
Did you ever read Tom Sawyer?
Well, I was in the show. Does that count? No, I should.
I asked you to read it, didn't I?
In the show?
Yeah.
I really credit.
Okay. That works. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I think we should do the question.
Okay. Boom.
Herschel, or Scott. Herschel, very loved character. Cried out, wept when the character died. It's hard for us when we make a bond with bigger characters in the show. Was it difficult for you guys to be taken off the show?
Well, speaking for myself, I kind of expected it. On episode 403, when they gave me this speech about when you step outside, you risk your life and all of that. And then in episode 405, when he took the elderberry tea into the prison, I was pretty sure they were going to kill me off. I thought that they were just giving me too much to do, and that's not a good sign. So these young ladies can answer for themselves. So it hurts me to see you guys now.
I cried too. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't prepared for that. No. I think for me, when I was killed off, I did expect it a little bit too, because I was going too close to zombies, and I didn't even care. Like I wasn't trying to get away from them. But I expected to get killed by a walker, not a person. Hey, what goes around comes around. Yeah. I mean, I guess I didn't know in that episode I was gonna die. I guess as soon as you sign the contract to go on the show, you know you're gonna die. You know what I mean? Like, that's like not really a fair question. Yeah. Oh, I'm on The Walking Dead. I'm a survivor. No, you're not. Yeah. You're only guaranteed a certain amount of episodes, so sometimes you can tell like how many episodes you've done, how many more you have. But look, oh.
Look at the flowers.
What do you girls like to do for fun?
Oh.
Do you guys have fun? I hope so.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like hanging out with you and you. And I like animals, which is weird because my character doesn't. But you know, I actually used to have a pet bunny. I gave it to my grandma. But I have a pet dog, and I have Brutus, yes. And I have friends. Yeah. I like to paint and jump rope and hula hoop. Yeah, and act. And talk to Mr. Scott. Yeah.
Cool. That's what I like to do. Yes.
Yes, I want to go back to NCIS.
Oh,
when you,
really? Cool.
Yeah. How did you like the actress who played Abby?
Oh yeah, she was so sweet. Like, I was new to it. I was a little bit more new to it, and I had to dye my hair black, which was really different for me. And she was just so supportive of me, Polly Brett, And she actually came to set on one of her days off to see me and support me. Like, she was just so supportive of me, and that really helped.
What are your girls' favorite movies?
Okay, I got Jaws. When I saw when I was 3, and then I just started getting into the Grand Budapest Hotel. Aww. And then I like lots of horror movies.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I watch them with my friends at night to get scared. I like the Divergent series. I've read almost all the books. I read the first 2 books. I'm on the 3rd one, but I'm gonna hold off because I heard it doesn't have the best ending. That's too hard.
What's Scott's favorite movie?
My favorite movie? I've got a lot of favorites. Probably right up there is Orson Welles' film, Touch of Evil.
Yeah.
John Huston film, Misfits. Another Houston film, probably Treasure Sierra Madre. There's a lot of great films. I like a lot of the old films and a lot of the new ones. It's hard to say. There's a lot of them.
Next question.
Did any of your co-stars that weren't in the Grove come to watch your guys' last episode to support you?
Cindy Green, Norman Reedus, Andrew Aiken, yeah. We didn't even know Andrew was British. He doesn't like to switch back and forth, I guess. So when he watched an interview after he was off, why didn't you tell us? You didn't know he was British? Like, what the heck is your problem? We saw him and we're like, so you're not American?
One other thing I haven't told you, but I'm not telling you what. Go right now. I'm teasing.
Oh.
You know everything.
I highly doubt that.
Now that you guys are off the show, are there anything you're working on right now? What are you working on now?
Yeah, I have a film called Reality, and I play Reality. It's going to Venice Film Festival. And then I just did a guest star in Golden Rizzoli and Isles. And then I'm the voice on Doc McStuffins. And I have a film coming out with John Schneider called The Gift Horse. And, oh yeah.
Wow, you're busy.
and then I have a pilot that I'm filming right now where I'm the lead and I can't say the name. I did True Detective on HBO with Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey. Wow. And then I did a film called Good Old Boy with Jason Lee.
Cool. I just did a thing with an old friend of mine, Michael Conley, called Bosch. They'll be playing on Amazon. I'll be in, I think, 4 of the episodes on that. Yeah. We'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Scott, when you was first approached to do The Walking Dead, what was your initial thoughts? Like, oh, I don't want to do some zombie TV show. Was you like completely on board from the get-go?
My manager called and said he had some interest in me doing a TV show. And I said, what's it about? And he said, zombies. I said, all right. Tell me some good news. And he said, Frank Darabont and Gillian Hurd. And I said, that's interesting. And so I looked at the first season and read some of the scripts, and I said, this is great. I love what the cast and the crew were doing with the first season. I thought it was fantastic. I thought all the actors were just killing it, and I said, I'd love to be a part of that. So it turned in from 2 or 3 episodes into almost 2.5 seasons, 3 seasons. A lot of fun.
Me and Kyla actually have a story. so we were really good friends. We went to the same school together, and yeah, and then we both got a call for The Walking Dead. But I'm not gonna tell. We have a ton of stories. Okay. So we were like really good friends, and we went to the same school together, and then we both got a call for The Walking Dead. But we thought we were going out for the same part, but we were really going out for different parts. So we're like, oh, you know what? We're both just gonna. First of all, they're gonna change it. First, they're gonna make us sisters or something, and they did. Because the role that we both auditioned for Lizzie, and then the callbacks were in Atlanta, and my mom was like, I'm not going all the way to Atlanta for some stupid zombies. You really want to do this? Then try to Skype with them. And I was like, fine. And so, and Brighton already auditioned, and then I Skyped with them and Taro. And what happened was we both read for Lizzie, and they ended up changing, because Lizzie was supposed to have a younger brother, and they ended up changing the role for the younger brother. It was supposed to be Micah, and they changed it to Mika, and they made a girl for me. I flew out to Atlanta, and they were like, I didn't really know what the show was about because they had changed the script, and I was auditioning for Lena, and I had to squish bugs. So I think that was like the first sign, and I didn't really know what the show was about because we were playing hide and go seek, and I saw all these like dead zombie pictures, and I was just like, okay. Yeah, because they give you like different, like they give you a fake script. They never release anything Walking Dead. Give you all fake names, and like of course it was like similar, like smushing bugs, killing people, kind of. It was like hide and go seek, and somebody like fell out of the tree. Yeah, and it was a dead line. It was really complicated. But it was fun. I think it was, yeah. Okay, next question.
Yeah. Who was the
No, I was just going to say, being so young, and obviously you guys are fun and having a great time and everything like that, being involved in such, probably the most brutal episodes of The Walking Dead so far, maybe Sam's Andrew ribbon that got thrown up, but how did you walk away from that? How did you just leave that there, or did you carry that with you a little bit? Just the circumstances.
Well, I didn't get to carry it with me because I couldn't really get into Lizzie's mind frame. Like if I was like a normal, sweet person, but I could get into that mind frame. But since she was so weird, so I just had to in a scene with Griselda, she was freaking out, and I didn't put my mind in, oh my gosh, they killed the zombie. I put oh my gosh, they killed my friend. So I tried to just do the emotions of the scene rather than the thoughts. Yeah, it's very intense show, obviously. But when you're on set, everything's so peachy and everyone's so sweet, and it's like okay, you're about to die, but let's go do some jumping jacks and go get some candy from Kraft. Of course, it was such an emotional impact on, I think both of us, yeah. And even your death scene, which was an impact on everyone. Of course, it was an impact on us because, you really become, you feel the emotion that your character's feeling, and so, but I tended not to go to sleep at night thinking, gosh, my sister killed me. It was more like, oh my gosh, I'm leaving set. Yeah. Speaking of going to bad dreams, a lot of people have been asking me, oh, do you get bad dreams? She had Robert Downey Jr. Oh wait, no. Robert Downey Jr. was my dad because I just watched Iron Man, and we were and it was the zombie apocalypse, and even flies could carry the disease because flies can pick up germs and stuff. So and it was we had these Iron Man suits and
Kaboom.
I got two questions, one silly, one serious. First one is the silly one. They're all a big cult following watching The Walking Dead. What are the shows do you guys have to catch every time it's on?
Finding Carter. No one's ever heard of it. Raise your hand if you've heard of it.
My wife.
Yeah, MTV. It is like such a good show. I tried to get her into it. I tried to get my into it. I'm like addicted to the show. And Doctor Who. But a lot of times I speed watch every show that I watch. I speed watch it, and then it comes down to like the last like 2 seasons, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give it a break, and then I just never come back. So I don't really have one. If my mom would let me watch TV more.
Now, serious question is, I'm assuming you guys never heard of the comic before the thing. Maybe tried to watch it and read it now. Is that a good thing or a bad
Watch
thing?
read walk.
No, comic. Have you read the comic after you've done?
I think it has like language in it.
It's bad.
I tried to get it, just like have it, and then when I started to read it, my mom, no. Like, I didn't know, like I'd never heard of it, obviously, and so I was like, well, this is cool. You know, I went to a convention, and I was like, well, I'll get this, just like put it in my house, because you know, it's like cool, and like you know, like Andrew signed it for me for fun. Like it was just like a silly fun thing I thought. Like I didn't plan on reading it. And then like I was just laying at night because my mom makes me go to bed like way too early. And I like picked it up and I like flipped through it and I was like, whoa. And I was like, and my mom came in. I got in trouble for like being awake. But she was like, please don't read this. Yeah. I love how they're writing down life. And like, okay, Kapuya.
What was the experience of working with a baby on set?
Oh my gosh, she was the cutest thing ever. I had to hold it a lot. But she was a big girl, like she's not like a good thing. She was chubby. Heavy, like, cause like all babies are heavy, but like she was just like a baby, so she was heavy. Yeah, on this and I could hold her, so like all the scenes that I was, well not all of them, but most of the scenes where I just smothered her, I was like I'd have to like sit down, so like it was really cool how they edited it.
Was it just one baby?
No, there's remote control baby. It was like
They had real babies.
yeah.
They had twins, actually.
Kinsley and
The first season they had twins and they would alternate them off. One was hungry, you know, having issues.
Oh.
And then that one would start having issues.
Yeah.
But they were cute, so it was okay. Oh, can I pick them?
Question for all three of you. What was the hardest scene you guys ever had to do in Walking Dead? As well as physical part?
Wait, do I have to answer first? You answer first. You haven't talked.
It's really fun to hear you talking about it. I guess for me was the first episode of season 3 where I got bit on the leg. It was a whole day of people dragging me down the hallway. Throwing me on the floor and jumping on top of me. I mean, the full day, a lot of energy went out that day. All the cast, Andrew and Stephen and Irony and Norman and Maggie, Lauren, Bohan, everyone in the scene was just putting out so much energy and so much effort. Take after take after take. It takes a lot longer to shoot something than is represented on film, as a finished product. What maybe is a minute or less on film, or half 2 minutes, is a full day of shooting sometimes. And that scene was like a full day of shooting, so it kind of, and you kept having to come back and bring the same energy level take after take. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of energy. Pretty tough, but fun.
For me, it was the scene, the prison cell scene, the one where the zombie, I worked with you in this one. It was the one where the zombie had to fall on top of me. It was like probably the one that I was the most scared because I wasn't sure like when I was supposed to fall. So I thought that they were just like they just had me walking, then they cut, they put a mat, and then I fell down. But all I saw was just like a guy, and he couldn't talk because of his mask, and he was just supposed to fall on top of me, and I got freaked out a bit. I guess it was the charge walkers. That was like, what we had to do is because our director, Mr. Mike, his real name's Michael, Mr. Mike's what I call him though, he was his first episode directing. He was like awesome. He was a cinematographer on the show for all 4 seasons. And so it was his first episode directing. And we had to look like we were running, obviously, because we saw them on the railroads. And then, we had to scream carol. And so we had to run in place. That gets exhausting because like they're like, okay, we're about to call action, and then they're like, okay, hold camera, but then our directors keeps telling us to keep running to that move, and so we're just like, and then I had to leap through the fence. So that was fun actually, because I like, but then it was like a lot of hard work, because I had to get my foot caught in to make it look believable, but that was really fun, I guess, yeah.
Scott, I don't know if you're keeping up with the show since you left, but how would you feel that the character of Herschel would feel about the way that Rick kind of he's coming back around from where he felt lost, and would you feel with that last scene before you were beheaded, you gave him kind of a look like you were passing the torch. Here you go. Everything I've got, you've got now. You feel like he's kind of, like he's taken Herschel's advice and run with it, or?
Well, I think that in that episode, there was actually Herschel starting to talk, and then Rick was saying exactly what Herschel had said to in an earlier episode. So it was. I think that was what prompted the smile on his face. Was that he saw that Rick was hearing what he had to say. So, it's interesting. I think it was mentioned earlier that part of the show, when you go on the show, you're going to die. But you look back at the people from the first season who didn't survive the first season, and what they contributed to the show. And then in the second season, the people that didn't survive that season. And it's that way just about every season. What's amazing to me is that they keep coming up with storylines that interest you people, that interest the fans. So it's really the casting directors are doing a great job of bringing people in. And the show the writers are doing a great job of finding issues. I think, the show has kind of stripped everything that you might expect from society now down to it's no longer existent. So the real person is there. So it's interesting, I think, people change when you do have rules to follow. So when there are no rules to follow, it's interesting, more interesting maybe to see how people change and how their outlook on life will change. So Rick, yeah, he has changed. He's gone through a lot. Everyone on the show has gone through a lot. Everyone has changed on the show.
I just feel like he carried a part of you.
That's sweet. That's nice. I mean, really. It's because Herschel and Rick, from the first episode Herschel was in, they bonded and they talked about the current world. Herschel was a little behind the times, but he caught up. He had a good idea of what was once in episode 8 when the walkers came out of the barn. It was Herschel's wife and his friends, his neighbors. It was Sophie, I guess, for the group that was on Herschel's farm. That was the big loss. But for Herschel, it was more of his family than one person. Really, everyone went through a metamorphosis. Everyone changed on that episode. I don't know if that's an answer.
No.
This would be for all three. What do you think was your favorite episode to be in?
In a lot more than
Well, I mean,
I guess it would be harder for you.
I tell you what was interesting to me, being on the show, because mostly I've done film. I've done some television, but mostly film. And I've done plays. And when you do a play, you experience the full arc of the character in one night. You know exactly what's going to happen to that character, and you go through it and you do it. In a film, you understand the full arc of the character. You may shoot it out of sequence, but you have a target. You have an end. You know what the pieces are. It's a puzzle. In television, in this show particularly, you don't know. You didn't know. So and I didn't read the comics because I understood the show was not the comics. So I didn't want to read something in the comics that would make me say, hey, I want that. I didn't want to do that because I can get stubborn. But in this, when you're working on it over a period of time, I started realizing that Herschel was a character in development, that was evolving, that was turning into something, and that I had some kind of control over. Not that I was writing the dialogue, which was great, but I was influenced by it. And at times I made suggestions about changing some dialogue or taking it into a different direction. So it was kind of more of an organic thing in a way. It's like planting seeds, like Johnny Appleseed. You plant a seed and then you hope that it will bear fruit further down the road. So it was a lot of fun doing it. I don't know if that's an answer to your question or if that covers it all, but it was a fun experience.
I liked all the episodes I did, but I have two. It was episode 414, and what was the one that I did with you because I got to scream as loud as I can. 405 because I got to scream as loud as I can, like on the top of my lungs, and I don't usually get to do that. I guess my favorite episode was 414, just because I got, of course everyone on the show is such an impeccable, amazing actors and actresses, and you can learn so much from them no matter what you do. But of course 414, oh, it was my episode, because it was Miss Melissa McBride's episode, it was Chad Coleman's, it was Brighton's, it was all of our episodes. It was establishing what happens in this world, and it was also setting up something for Miss Melissa and kind of showing how she's coping. And I guess it was just so good because I love the storyline, and it was so amazing getting to work with her and Mr. Chad. But she's just such an amazing actress, and I got to learn so much from her, so much talent and so much skill. And I think we both learned a lot from that.
And also, just to go back to that for a second, you don't need lots of dialogue and lots of dramatic stuff to have an impact with the characters that you play. Even when you're not talking, you're reacting, and you're setting up who your character is by the way you respond to what other people do. So it's kind of a tough question, but the obvious answer for me would be episode 405, which was a lot of action, a lot of Herschel had a lot to do with it. But anyway, even, I can still remember even little things where I had no dialogue, but I was watching something that the other actors were doing and responding to it just from looking at it. And that's fun too. You don't need to be the
Thank you. I have a question, and kind of for all three of you, but it starts out with Herschel because you've been in there the longest. I was wondering, like, in real life, you guys aren't living like that, and what do you guys have to do to prepare yourselves to be in those positions and adapt to, like, say your wife being in the farmhouse, and then you have to relate when they go and kill her, and you have to put all that in there. What do you guys do to prepare yourselves for each time you have something emotional come up like that? You have to put it into the film.
I want to hear their answers.
Well, I think that's one of the best things about acting, is that you have to put obviously you're never going to be like, now, what do I remember about the zombie apocalypse? Like, that's not something that's going to go through my mind. But you have to put your personal experiences in life, and obviously, I'm 11 and I haven't had as many as most of you guys. Not calling you older. But I have to, when you act, one of the best things for me about acting is that you get to think personal things that have actually happened to you that you can kind of relate in your mind. Something that, like, you felt that made you sad, or something that you remember. Like you said on the memory, it's not like, because, like, some experiences that we don't have, that me as well. But, it's like, but it's not just like, oh, she stole my candy, remembering that and like putting it into that. I think part of it for me is muscle memory. Like, if you just put yourself in that, if you like figure out how you look right before you cry, you put yourself in that moment and you start making noises like upset noises, and sometimes tears come out. Muscle memory.
Well, I don't know. I've been acting longer than probably anyone in this room is old. 53 years, pretty long time. But it is acting. If you're playing someone who actually lived, and there are people alive who knew that person, are there people alive who can say, you were nothing like that guy, or the opposite, you were totally like that guy, and I have experienced that. I experienced that with a film that we shot over here in Kansas, in Cold Blood. And I had response from the KBI, the Kansas Bureau of Investigation, the guys that interrogated the killers that were involved in that, who at the time said nobody can do that, no actor can do that. I have to do that interrogation. And later they sent me messages to say they thought I wasn't. So it was in that situation, and that happened from other people involved in that actual trial. I don't know how many, probably most of you here have not seen that film. How many have seen In Cold Blood?
You got proved wrong.
It's a film that was based on an
I thought that was like a thing, like when you saw the real deal.
There was a tragic thing in Kansas back in 61 or so, that a family was killed. And Truman Capote came in and wrote a book on it, and then they made a film of it. That I was in.
I gotta do that. How come I didn't know about that?
We have a few years to go too.
You both come up with the name Griselda Gunderson from the doll? No, we don't. The doll and Walker were both named Griselda Gunderson.
We caught that. Did you two come up with the name?
No. Okay. So we were wondering if, like, Mr. Scott, like he had a high school sweetheart named Griselda or something. I was wondering where did he think of that? Do you know? Because you seem to know everything.
I mean, yeah, I missed part of that question.
Okay, I'm the doll in episode 414. there was a scene where I had a doll, and I named her Griselda Gunderson. Then when Lizzie was playing with the walker, she named her Griselda Gunderson because she copies me on everything.
And that's like our mom's name, Griselda.
Yeah, well, maybe it was like Mr. Scott, because Mr. Scott and Dimple wrote it. Maybe Lizzie's high school sweetheart. Do you know? Did he tell you?
He didn't tell me.
It could be our mom's name or something.
He didn't tell me a lot of things.
Hey guys, I have to cut this off because I got to clear out the room for next. I hope you guys enjoyed this panel.